There isn't much left of the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. When the Knights of St. John stripped the structure for building material in the 16th century, they took almost every usable stone block, leaving only these fragments that you see here. But with a bit of imagination, we can reconstruct part of this fantastic monument. The mausoleum was a vast rectangular structure. The blocks in the center of the screen, beneath those column drums, belonged to the southwest corner of the mausoleum. There were a few parts of the foundations that was not robbed away by the knights. We'll work around to that after exploring the tomb chamber itself and the stairs down to it. The site of the mausoleum is surrounded by fragments of the building. These pieces of white marble were once part of the decoration, whereas these green blocks of lava belonged to the superstructure. You can see hundreds of these incorporated into the knight's castle on the harbor here in Bodrum. Let's walk around toward the entrance to the tomb chamber. Structurally, the mausoleum was a vast pile of those green lava blocks. The only chambers were in the base, where Mausoleum and Artemisia were buried. There was, however, a monumental staircase built which led down into that tomb chamber. And we see that here. Let's get a better look. This was buried after the interment of Mausoleum and Artemisia. The excavators found the remains of a very extensive animal sacrifice here, not consumed by fire, but simply covered by earth and stones. At the end of the passageway leading into the tomb chamber was a massive block, and you can see it there. Get a bit closer. Robbers made several attempts to bore through this thing, but were never able to. It was simply too large, and Newton found it in place. Another view of the blocking stone. When the knights plundered this area in 1522, they dug past the blocking stone and directly into the tomb itself. They found this antechamber below us here, and beyond it, the tomb chamber proper, where Mausolus was laid in his urn, and Artemisia apparently had a rich marble sarcophagus. The knights found this space richly decorated with marble and stucco. All of this, unfortunately, they pulverized, and none really survives to give an impression of its grandeur today. Here, on the north side, part of the peribolus wall, which delimited the sacred area around the mausoleum, has survived. It was beyond here that Newton found most of his sculptures, buried by landslides from the slope above. Coming this way, we see part of the drainage system put in place to keep floods from filling the tomb chamber. Let's come a bit closer here. And the drain is just below us. Now we're looking down the drainage channel toward the tomb chamber. All of this would have been part of the bulk of the mausoleum. That is, just many, many courses of those green lava blocks. Most were stripped away by the knights. You see a loose line of them here, but the best preserved are in this corner. So bear with me a moment. Here, beneath these columns, we see part of the mausoleum's corner. You can see how neatly the blocks were laid, and the impressions left by the clamps that held them together. The metal, of course, has been robbed away. Here we have another well-preserved part of the foundation. And I just noticed we have a clamp here still in situ, which is mildly exciting. There it is. But of the true glory of the mausoleum, its decoration, those fantastic sculptures that made it famous to the ancient world, there are very few traces. You can go to the British Museum, of course, and see what Newton found. I recommend it. It's pretty awesome. But for the most part, we're reduced, as so often when dealing with the ancient world, to texts and to imagination. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short tour. If you're in Bodrum, check it out. In the meantime, thanks for watching.